Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah? 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL? Ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You got to get more athletic and better defensively, right? You got to get better shooting. And if you can do those two things and hope that Darvingham takes the next step, if you bring him back, they can be better. But if you don't do that, you must more than anything the Lakers, you must get rid of Rob Pelinka and get a better basketball guy.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency, the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Thursday night throwdown has begun. We've got a full house on the program tonight, and we've got a full house as far as action going on right now as we speak. The Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. High-scoring game so far, 29-22 with 3:33 left in the first quarter of play. They've already cracked the 50 barrier at 51. The total is now 230.5 points. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks are a pure pick 'em, minus 115 on the money line on both sides. The Boston Celtics remind us why they're not going to win the NBA championship. They don't have the killer instinct. We've talked about this with the Celtics for years. They're front runners, right? And it's easy to say, wow, their three-point shots don't fall, but that's all they take. That's all they do. They have absolutely zero interior post game whatsoever. They've been given a free pass against the Jimmy Butlerless and whatever. The Miami Heat, or, it's the Miami Heat. And then you get in the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavs are giving you all that you can handle. We'll get into the numbers once they start popping up right now, but the Celtics are like the only team in NBA history. I think they lost this year as like 17 or 18-point favorites by like 20 points or something. Think about it tonight. Like you're laying double digits and you got absolutely smoked. And it's like, well, it's okay. Well, all right. You're playing the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. Now, the Celtics are probably going to survive this series, but what happens when they play a real team after? Like a good team. Let's say the New York Knicks or hell, even the Pacers, as OG Anunoby is now hurt. New York can't have nice things. Although the New York Rangers were having a nice thing until Carolina scored super late in the hockey game. They pulled their goalie. So we're going to overtime, and it's all about overtimes right now. Like I said, there's a lot of action going on. So NHL, it's 2-2. We're at the intermission. We're going to be coming back any minute now, although these intermissions in the Stanley Cup playoffs have been extended, and you can sort of feel it. They all feel long. So the Rangers and the Canes, they're locked up at 2 right now. Colorado and Dallas have started. There haven't been any goals in the first 7.5 minutes of this game. We're at the 12:40 mark right now. It's still scoreless. I don't want to come out and say, well, look, the under's looking good, because I said that the other night and there was a flurry of goals. So Like, we all know what happened. The Dallas Stars blew a 3-0 lead to the Colorado Avalanche in Game 1. Now they're playing on home ice once again. They did this against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So you can't count Dallas out ever, but you don't want to live dangerously and skate on thin ice, literally and figuratively, all the time. So we're scoreless right now in Dallas. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, the Dallas Mavericks are in action. And I get it. They're different leagues. But it's crazy to me that these games started at the same time as well. Like, not one of the, you could say, well, listen, let's start at let's go 9:30 and then 10. But no, we're going to start both Dallas games at the exact same time. So the Mavericks and Stars are both in action right now. And you know what? I'm curious. I'm going to dig into this, actually. I'll poke around, send some tweets to the people that are some DMs, that the people that follow this type of stuff. But I'd be curious to see, what are the ratings in Dallas? They're playing at the same time. So, like, forget about everywhere else. Like, I'd like to see, what are the ratings in Dallas with the Dallas Stars playing and the Dallas Mavericks playing? How many people are watching the basketball and how many people are watching the hockey? Seems to me that people are watching everything as of late. Sports ratings, like every league's ratings have been good. Everybody's getting good ratings as of late. So there's an enthusiasm about the products that people are watching and, dare I say, betting on as well. That probably has something to do with it. It's funny. The National Football League, right? Like, the NFL literally makes like $20 billion. Like, like their revenues are bigger than a lot of countries are, without an exaggeration. And the amount of money that they make from sports books is like freaking minimal. It was like $25-30 million in revenue from sports books, like all the ads. They got $5 million from one book, $10 million from another. Teams, sold their own deals as well and made a couple of bucks, but they don't really, like, in the grand scheme of things, they don't need it. It's like, it's nothing. And they realized, though, that it wasn't for the money. They realized the more people bet on games, the more people will watch the game. So that's why they got, like, on board. It wasn't money. When people think, oh, it's money, it's not money. The NFL doesn't need money, right? Like, the NFL doesn't need FanDuel's money or DraftKings or like, they don't need their money. They've been doing just fine without their money, but they've caught on that when people bet on a game, people watch the game, right? So that's where it is. 32-22 right now. 32-22 for the Dallas Mavericks. Meanwhile, in the National Hockey League, the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars are off and running, and overtime is off and running in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Magic, the Madison Avenue Magic, although it's not at Madison Avenue anymore. But that's why it's Madison Square Garden. Wow, the Rangers score like right away as overtime starts. These damn fast ice, man. We talk about it every night on the show. Fast ice, it's a killer. The puck bounces around super fast, and you can't react to it. If it doesn't go your way, you can't react to it. And there it is right there. There's always something. Buddy, the Carolina Hurricanes, like, the puck was in the corner. He went to get it in the corner, and it bounced off the boards, and he missed it. Because, like I talk about all the time, it's freaking fast ice, and you can't overestimate it. Like I said, like, when I played, I used to, like, seriously create, like, these massive snow piles all the time. I do it, like, just sort of like, you see goalies do it. You know what I mean? Where they're shoveling snow to the side and stuff, and you think they're getting out of the way. But really, they're stockpiling it. Now, in the NHL, they come out with shovels and stuff. But, like in the old days, you want as much snow and, like, you want to slow everything down as possible. Wow. The Canes are in a lot of trouble right now. 3-0. The New York Rangers are taking the series lead. The 1994 connections, man. Just like over and over and over and over again. It really is crazy. And you know what happened in 1994, right? It was the New York Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks. But so the Knicks went to the finals, but the Rangers went to the finals. But let's focus in on the Rangers for a second. The Rangers won the President's Cup in 1994. They won the Stanley Cup. The Rangers in 1994 had a first-year head coach that was a veteran coach that won a cup before at Mike Keenan. Well, this Rangers has a veteran coach in Peter Laviolette that's won a cup before in his first year. You get into the really weird stuff now. The solar eclipse. On May 10th, 1994, there was a solar eclipse. There was just a solar eclipse. 1994, O.J. Simpson. You had the car chase and the trial and everything. 1994, O.J. Simpson just died. 1994. There was an earthquake in New York in 1994. There's an earthquake in New York in 2024. Like, it really is crazy when you add up these eerie sort of numbers. And for the record, too, the Rangers started the playoffs 6-0, all right, in 1994. Well, they're now 7-0 in the playoffs. There's a lot of eerie coincidences going on here. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the team that they played in the Stanley Cup Finals in 1994 are still alive, the Vancouver Canucks. And, it's easy to forget. A lot of people remember the Rangers winning, but the Vancouver Canucks were a goalpost away from winning that Stanley Cup. Pavel Bure hit the goalpost. It's a cold world. The Vancouver Canucks have never won a Stanley Cup, and that was the Rangers' first cup in 318 years or something like that when they won. What was it, like 40, 43, 44? 43? This is Sports Rage. Bring it.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. We've got a stacked program tonight, literally and figuratively. Drew Martin in the house with us. Steve Merrill will throw it down. Rick Saratella, Big Card Julio, Brent Beard, Griffin Murphy. We're locked and loaded. And I knew, actually, I'm looking right now. I'm like, yeah, Griffin Murphy. I don't think I put him in. I'm in my extended tweet. We had so many guests. I got to tag him right now. So we just had an overtime winner, another overtime game in the National Hockey League. We were just talking about the synergy between the 1994 Rangers and this Rangers team. They do it again. They give up the late goal to the Carolina Hurricanes. They're up 2 games to none. They give up the late goal. You could say, well, you know what? We all knew the Canes were going to throw the kitchen sink at them, and they got the W. And then the Rangers come out, boom. But that damn fast ice will get you every time. And it did. It caught the Canes. Weird bounce in the corner. Puck bounces out into the slot, leads to the goal. The Rangers get the W. And now the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche are playing. We've got the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we have another overtime game going on right now in the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. They're into the playoffs right now, night 2 of the playoffs. We hit Toronto last night. They were victorious against Minnesota. Now it's Montreal versus Boston, and this is real. They're in overtime. It's tied at 1 right now. And they've been playing for a couple of minutes in overtime here, too. I'm on Montreal, so I'll keep my eye on this, and hopefully we can hit a win after we just lost on the Carolina Hurricanes. I bet the game to go to overtime, but so what? I had the Canes to win, and I bet an in-game under like an idiot late. So we've got to get back on track. We got Drew Martin in the house. Cam Stewart is here. Good to see you, Drew. What's up, Cam? We'll start with Drew. How you doing, Drew Martin? Your Panthers a big win last night.
How about it, Gabe? I was watching all that game, and how many fights were there, man? It was a really interesting game to watch. It was good to see the Cats split the series at home, and we'll see if they can keep it going. I like them. I like this Panthers team a lot here, Gabe. And, you brought up something in your opening I thought was very interesting with the Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Stars both playing. It reminds me, these leagues go after each other. Really, the only 2 that work together that I can think of are like college football and the NFL. They kind of respect each other. Outside of that, it's just grab for your own, it seems, in terms of ratings.
There used to be, oh, my God. I was going to say, how did that not go in? And it just did, of course. God, this is another overtime loss for me. Boston, they don't have a name, just beat Montreal that don't have a name in the PWHL. 2-1 overtime win in the playoffs. Cam, how you doing?
Hey, Gabe, how are you? Another Boston team breaking the hearts of another city. That's what they do, this team. Unbelievable.
In Montreal, too.
Oh, yeah, just classic. That's what these guys do. Drew's right, though. That Florida Panthers series had everything but guns, knives, and foreign objects. I thought somebody was going to get killed, actually. It was like Abdullah the Butcher in wrestling. Here we go, Gabe. Tonight, I bet way too much money on Carolina, too, buddy. I made a big mistake, and I had no money left. I hedged out. I couldn't hedge out. I'm done. I'm on Dallas and Dallas. I got the Dallas Stars tonight and the Dallas Mavericks. Those are my plays, and if they lose, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, despite hitting Xander Schauffele, first-round leader in golf, after a couple glasses of wine last night. That worked.
So it's scoreless with Colorado and Dallas right now. There's 5 minutes left. The total is down to 4.5. Man, this thing is plummeted right now. And as far as the NBA game is concerned, it's a good one. We knew the Dallas Mavericks would play better tonight. I still think Oklahoma City are going to win the game. I'm on the over of this game. We hit the over pretty hard. The in-game total right now is 227.5. It's 40-37 for the Mavericks. I said earlier, yeah, and you're right, Drew. Just one thing about that. The leagues used to sort of, I don't think they really spoke with each other, but there was just sort of an understanding. That's your time. This is our time. This is your day. This is my day. And we all know about the high school football Friday rule, right? That was actually set by Congress. So, and, college will respect high school, and then NFL will respect the Saturday, and then the Sunday is the pro day, etc. That's long gone, Drew, right? We're seeing it right now. The NFL is playing on Wednesday this year. First time in 77 years. They're going to be playing on a Wednesday, doubleheader, Christmas Day. They're playing on a Friday night, and that's their little catch. They get away with it with Thanksgiving. They have an exemption for Thanksgiving. But the rule is, like on Fridays, as long as the game is projected, the Dallas Stars just scored. As long as the game is projected to end by 6 o'clock or so, Drew, they can do it. That's why that Black Friday game was at 4 o'clock. You see, there's a reason for everything that they're doing. But look at the NFL. They're like, yeah, whatever. We're not worried about high school. We're playing on Friday night in Brazil to open the season.
We do what we want.
And now they're all like, they're like NBA, Christmas Day, Michael Jordan tradition. Yeah, well, good for you. Well, we have a new tradition. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing.
Was that Heiskanen?
Like they,
was that him?
I
got him
I don't know who scored.
20-1. 20-1.
Yes, it was.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
This makes up so many bad decisions I made during that Carolina game. Thank you.
Yeah, Heiskanen with the goal. 1-0, 5:14 left. First goal of the playoffs.
Can't believe
But now, too, the college football playoff, Drew, the NFL is mad. And it's ironic because the NFL has pushed everybody off the perch, right? They just step in on any day they want, and they're going to do what they want when they want to do it. And they're upset because they have this big, like, NFL day planned on Saturday before Christmas, and it's the college football playoffs at the same time. Ooh. And the NFL is actually, like I follow this stuff. The NFL, unnamed people, they said, all right, the gloves are off. There's no more partnership with college football. We're going head to head. Like, and they've caught on. They have to. Dude, the Big Ten / Pac-12 is like, it's not a little conference anymore, bro. This is a big business, like coming after like billions of dollars TV deals. It's almost a pro league. The NFL recognizes like these guys are coming for us, right? Like they have a massive, like it's like warfare right now. You're bang on with the networks, and we all wonder why do they put the WNBA game on at the same time? Why do they have the UFL game on at this? Because the networks need counter programming. They're just going head to head. And nobody is surrendering now. And now Amazon's coming in. They want to crush everybody with the NBA.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books. And outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the map. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just great.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
We had a great night last night with the comeback on the show. A lot of people enjoyed the show with a Vancouver Canuck comeback. It's been a wild ride, the playoffs, but it's almost more, it's demanding when you're a bettor as well. Like, even if you're a player, at least these teams have a day off, right? If you're a bettor, you're just going at it every day. There's these ups and downs. We've had a lot more ups than downs but tonight is one of those frustrating nights. I made a couple of bad decisions just in haste, and then boom, I lose the Carolina Hurricane game in overtime, and then about 10 minutes later, I lose the WHL game in overtime. So I'm 0 for 2 in overtime tonight, and I had the Boston Celtics in a parlay that I would have won if not for them, and I also bet the over of the Celtic game, and I swear to God, I could find 5 guys in the park in any city. Like, I don't care what city, they could beat the Boston Celtics bench. Like, the Boston Celtics, the last 5 guys, like, they went out there, that was the worst display of bench basketball, of quote-unquote garbage time. Like, I don't know how the hell you guys made the NBA. I have a friend, we'll get to the picks, but I have a friend that used to do NBA games, and he had a great job. He sat, it was the Vancouver Grizzly games. He sat in between the play-by-play guy and the analyst, and he was the radio guy controlling the controls and stuff. So he was sitting courtside with them, and he played basketball a lot, street ball and stuff. And he told me once, you'll like it, Drew. He told me once, he goes, I swear to God, I could beat the 15th guy on the bench in a game of horse. And I said, no, you couldn't. And he goes, I'm telling you, I do their games every night. I watch them warm up. He goes, I could. And I actually almost believe him now, Drew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might be tall and stuff, but dear God, man, some of these guys in the NBA that are getting paid that you don't know who their names are, like some of the white guys that, you know what I mean? The back, the end of the bench, right? Like guy 12 to 15 type of stuff. Like the Brissett guy, number 12 on the Celtics tonight. He could have made an NBA hoop it up team. I don't know if he's got dirt, like if he slept with someone's wife in Boston, Cam. Like, I don't know how the hell this guy's in the NBA, but anyways.
He couldn't make the hoop it up team. You're right. And these guys are so big and they're still scrubs. Like when you're that big of a person, it makes you wonder, like, thank God you're
bricks
tall,
and air balls, Cam, though. It's like, bro, you're a pro player. Like I get like you're coming in, but like you're throwing air balls. You're an NBA player. Air balls.
These guys suck. You're absolutely right, Morency. It was pathetic. It was real pathetic. Same with you.
And it stayed under by 2 points because of them or whatever. I had to stop. I was like, I can't watch. Like,
I feel your
there's
pain,
nothing
bro,
worse than bad garbage time basketball, guys, when you're betting.
You're right. You know what, Morency? You know what I've noticed too? How come our streak, like we pick Vancouver and all the stuff we do, like I lost 2 overtime games the other night when it was Carolina and who else lost that overtime game? Dallas to Colorado and leads in those games. So Rangers have won back-to-back overtime games. Me and you got no luck in overtime and shootouts, bro. We have to win in 60 or we're done. Like I got the records to prove it. It's very simple.
Yeah, if Vancouver and Edmonton go to overtime tomorrow night, I'm at the game. I'm just leaving. Yeah. I'm going to leave.
Exactly.
I won't stay for overtime.
Oiler goal. See ya. I'm out of here.
I should actually do it. If it goes to overtime, I'll post the video. All right. See you later, guys. I'm leaving. All right. Good luck, everyone.
I love it.
It might help. I'll go to a sports bar across the street. It might help. The Dallas Mavericks are going on a run right now, guys. 52-39 in this basketball game. Totals 227.5. Right now, have you been betting the NBA, Drew? You into the NBA? You want to hit some? We'll hit some baseball on the other side. But what are your thoughts on the NBA playoffs? What do you think of the Nuggets and the T-Wolves?
Well, actually, yeah, I took a little bit of Dallas +5 just to kind of have something new as coming on the show here. So feeling pretty good in that. Actually, I've been concentrating all of my time pretty much on MLB, and the little extra time. The NHL has got me, Gabe. They really do. This playoffs has been really fun to watch. I'm into the Panthers, and seeing those fights in that game last night, I thought they didn't fight the playoffs, man.
Honestly, it was like really prison. Cool. It was like a prison yard.
Tried to murder Pasternak when he was down. They were falling over, like bang! He came flying in. He knocked his helmet off.
It was amazing. You do that in real life, you go to jail. But apparently on ice, you can do whatever you want. Like that is assault. Like it was crazy, man. Some very violent games.
Yeah, you know what?
Those teams hate each other.
Dude, it's going to be a bloodbath in Boston. The Bruins are going to respond. They're going to be like, you punch Pasternak in the face. Like they're going to go after him. Like it's going to be fun. Both coaches loved it, though, right? No one was like, they're all, just you standing up for your team. I don't like seeing Pasternak get punched in the face if I was the Bruins.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in game one of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a minus 115 Canes, Rangers minus 105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage 55-41 right now for the Dallas Mavericks. I'll make it 55-44. You know, I guess I'll probably jump in on the total here. We're going to get there. It should get into the 230s. Dallas already have 55 points, and Oklahoma City are going to pick it up. I think this game is going to get interesting. Dallas are laying 2.5 right now. The other Dallas team is in action against the Colorado Avalanche. We played a period 1-0. The total's 5.5 right now. Minus 155 to the under, plus 125 to the over, 5.5. Light night tonight, Major League Baseball. We've got the White Sox and the Guardians, 3-2 ball game there, and the Royals are up on the Angels right now, 4-0 already, guys, in the bottom of the fourth. Any late night baseball for you, Drew?
I like this Royals team. Yeah, I jumped on them, and one of the reasons, Gabe, is this LA Angels team, Detmers, I just don't think he's the same type of pitcher that we've seen the last couple years. So I took a piece of the Royals and also bet the over. I know it's West Coast at night, the marine layer, the whole bit. But Walker hasn't been all that great in the past for the Royals here. So I think that both lineups get after it and they get up and over 8. So I bet the over and took a little piece here of the Royals that I'm sweating out.
All right, so Saturday is a big day in Major League Baseball. It's Paul Skeens' debut. Ooh. So the LSU Tiger phenom, Paul Skeens, who just absolutely lit it up in Indianapolis, where our boy McAfee is. Everybody was there. Paul Skeens, Caitlin Clark's there now. So Skeens, this guy put up historic numbers. One thing, though, he didn't pitch a lot of innings. He pitched 27 innings only. He had 41 strikeouts in the 27 innings. He gave up 1 home run only. Just a sheer dominant pitcher. He throws 100 plus, 6'6". We saw him in the World Series, right, in the College Baseball World Series. I'm curious to see what the number is going to be. But, yeah, Drew, he makes his debut for the Pirates on Saturday.
You know what, Gabe? I wouldn't be surprised if they go off as the favorite. We've seen the baseball market kind of shift over the last few years, and they'll respect these guys, these top-notch guys coming up. Usually, 5 years ago, betting baseball in the overnights, they would open that number with let's just say a guy was stepping up from the minors, and they'd be like the underdog. Now a guy like him, big name guy, top round draft pick, they get respect in the marketplace. To tell you the truth, Gabe, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up going
It's going
off
to be one of the most. It's going to be one of the most bet games of the day. People are on this stuff. The Major League Baseball Network is showing it. The Pirates aren't on national television ever, so the MLB Network will show the game. So it's going to get a national television audience here. They're playing the Chicago Cubs, but I can't wait to see what this guy does. And yeah, they're going to be favorites with him on the hill. Like, it's the most anticipated pitching debut since Strasburg. You know, Strasburg coming out of San Diego State, as far as like college baseball pitchers, Drew.
I was actually I went to one of his first starts against the Braves. I was at that game.
Who, Strasburg?
And I remember that. Yeah. I can't remember if it was his first ever start. Maybe it was his second or third, but it was against the Atlanta Braves, and that place was, you know, that was in the old, before they got the new stadium, and there was a whole lot of people there. I'm actually looking at who he's matched up with here against the Cubs. I can do a little projecting the line. Oh, he's up against Assad. At least the slated starter. Oh no, that's on Friday. On Saturday, it's Pittsburgh and the Chicago Cubs. Pitt's at home, so it's in PNC. He's up against Steele, and actually Steele's had a pretty good year here. Yeah, so
that guy's wicked.
Actually, it might go off near Pick'em. Yeah,
that's.
What do you think? I would actually probably put it maybe minus 105. Open it up with a 7 in the hook as the total.
Yeah. You know what? It'll probably be that, but what they'll do is they'll just sort of juice up the Skeens props. Because, like I said, he's so hyped up and stuff. People are going to want to be a part of it. A strikeout prop, hell, I'll get in on it. What's it going to be? 5.5, 6.5? How many innings are they going to let the kid go? But you talked about it. And also, too, man, we see it all the time, man. Top pitching prospects come up, and even not top pitching prospects come up. And the first couple of times through the team see them, it's a problem for them, right? Mm-hmm. You don't even have to be the most talented guy. Like some, journeyman can come up, and the big leaguer's never seen him before, and you get the guy out after he's only pitched twice through the order, and he can survive. But Skeen's the real deal, man. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does something special. Like, he pitches like 5 innings of no-hit baseball or something. I'm not kidding. I think he's that good. I think we're in store. Like, I'm definitely gonna have my eye on it. So the LA Dodgers are playing San Diego over the weekend. No hotter team in baseball right now, Drew, than the Dodgers. 14-2 in their last 16.
How about this team? I mean, I don't know if I'm stepping in front of what they were able to do against the Atlanta Braves. That just last weekend, sweeping the Braves, and it could be kind of a preview of the NLCS. And they got Glasnow going tomorrow. He's up against Michael King. I was looking at the Dodgers because they're on the road here. I don't like betting run line with the home team just because, I don't know, guys, it doesn't set up well sometimes.
With the Dodgers, though, Drew, it doesn't matter. Another team will score in the first inning. They'll put up 4 or 5. That's the one team you can do run lines with them because they score so many damn runs.
Well, that's what I was saying. They're actually on the road here. They're down the I-5 in Petco here. Yeah. So I like the Dodgers on the run line here, Gabe. I really do.
Big series for the Blue Jays. The Minnesota Twins are in Toronto. And, the Blue Jays have been frustrating. It's a Toronto sports team thing where everything sort of gets over-dramatized a bit. It's a little bit like New York, but especially locally, past failures catch up. And we've seen it. This Blue Jay team has been kind of underachievers considering the talent. They're always a hipster pick that this is their year, this is their year. Yet here they are right now. They're not going to win the division. They're 4.5 games out of a wild card spot. I can't believe I'm talking wild card spots this early, but they're already 4.5 games out of a wild card spot. They're 3 games under 500. And I do believe that John Schneider actually could get fired. I think they probably would like to fire him if things don't go well over the next week and a half or so. But at the same point in time, it's going to highlight sort of that, you guys are the same regime to keep firing. You guys keep hiring these people. In Shapiro and Atkins, Vlad Guerrero is starting to come alive right now, but it's a massive homestand right now. Are you buying or selling the Toronto Blue Jays, Drew?
I was actually looking to sell on them here. They're up against the Minnesota Twins, and this Twins team is hot, Gabe. They've won 15 of 17. Man, 15-2 your last 17 games.
And
Ryan's been decent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I was surprised by this line. You can grab them right now, plus 105. And they smash lefties. They're up against Kikuchi on Friday, and they're a top 5 lineup against lefties. And you kind of touched on it. The Blue Jays need this game. I guess that could be an angle to bet on the Jays, but they've lost 5 of 7, 10 of their last 14. Now 3 games under. I usually like to bet on the Jays at home. I think they got a pretty good home field advantage, but really, I think everything's pointing towards the Minnesota Twins here, Gabe, unfortunately, at least in Friday night's matchup.
We're throwing it down with Drew Martin and Cam Stewart. I wanted to get Drew's take. He's a big football guy, and football never sleeps. We got a lot of football talk coming up on the show tonight. And I saw a tweet tonight. It was Sooner fans. What's the easiest bet on the board? And they had the point spreads. And I'm thinking, there's no easy game here when I look. All right, besides Temple. So OU are minus 39.5 point favorites versus Temple. OU minus 4 versus Tennessee. They're 3-point favorites against your Auburn Tigers, Drew, at Auburn.
How about that? I mean, I'm not saying Auburn's going to win the SEC or anything, but if you go by like the transfer portal in this offseason, they got a whole lot of talent. And hey, welcome to the SEC. Even if Auburn is 500, you're playing a night game in Jordan-Hare. That's no easy shakes here, Gabe.
Dude, Oklahoma are in a lot of trouble this year. And I'm upset my girl Sooner Lisa. Dude, they're playing at Ole Miss, at Mizzou versus Alabama and at LSU. Yeah, have fun with that.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books. And outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in game one of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a minus 115 Canes, Rangers minus 105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. If I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing, I would have really figured it would have been the other way around. But the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. We're just talking a little college football before we get Drew out of here. I can't wait. I'm looking at these. And same with the NFL. I'm really fired up for the football scene. You know, we have an expanded college football playoffs. You know, it was fine with 4, but I can live with 12. It is what it is. It's going to be a fun season. And we talked about it a lot last year and the last 2 years sort of leading up to these conference mergers. They're going to cannibalize each other. There's going to be a lot of big-time programs whose fan bases are suddenly not going to be happy. They're used to going 10-2 every year, and suddenly you're going to be 8-4 and 7-5 because you're in these tougher conferences. Hell, USC Trojans win total is only 7.5 right now going into the Big Ten. But from a fan and a betting perspective, every Saturday, guys, is going to be like January 1st, Drew. You know what I mean? Like every Saturday there's going to be massive games. Like in these conferences, they can't help but to have massive games. They've all merged. like it's just, you know, but it's going to be nuts. You know what I mean? Just like all day long across the day. Like I said, just, the first Saturday that's even week 0. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Clemson, Georgia, LSU, USC. And then September 7th, Texas, Michigan. There's just, Georgia, Alabama, who don't always play each other in the regular season. They're playing September the 28th. Michigan, Washington, October the 5th. Ohio State and Oregon. How about this on October the 12th? Ohio State and the Ducks. Texas and Oklahoma are playing. The following week, you got Georgia and Texas. It's just like wall-to-wall games, like massive, big-time games. It's going to be sick. So, Drew, we'll get you out of here, but anything on the Major League Baseball card you like on Friday? You said you've been looking at it.
Yeah, a couple things. And one, I can't wait for college football season to get here, Gabe. That weekend in Vegas, I hope we grab tickets to that USC LSU game, man, because I'm definitely down. And actually on the Friday card on the diamond here, I got the Philadelphia Phillies circled as the run line favorite in South Florida, going up against my Miami Marlins. I grew up a Marlins fan, but they're just 10-29 on the season. You saw it, Gabe, with them getting swept against the Dodgers. And also the Marlins have been getting blown out. They usually go off as the plus 1.5 run line underdog. They're just 11-27 against the spread in baseball. They're up against the first place Phillies, one of the best teams in the major leagues. Actually, you are what your record says you are. Phillies record says they are the best team, 26-12, better lineup. I like Ranger Suarez as well. So let's go with the Phillies and lay the run line against the Fish.
Forget about moving the A's. The A's are going to make the playoffs. It's going to be like a storybook ending. They're going to save the team, keep the keep them there, but move the Marlins to Reno. They should counter move like the instead of Vegas, counter the Athletics, because the Marlins got big time problems. They've always had problems, but like you said, this is going to be a long season for this baseball team. Drew Martin, always good, my man. Enjoy the games. May the winners be yours.
Absolutely. Back at you, Gabe. Always good to be on with you, buddy. Look forward to next Thursday.
There's Drew Martin Betts in the house. Let's bring in Steve Merrill right now. Yeah. We've got under a minute remaining in the first half of basketball. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have gone on a run. We've got a real track meet going on. 65-62. Steve Merrill. How you doing, Steve?
A fast-paced game, to say the least.
There's the one thing that I've noticed, the odds makers, I've talked about it a lot, the Knicks and Pacers. They've been really challenged with the totals, right? They made 217.5, track meet, 218.5, 220. It's bouncing around 222.5. And I had a feeling tonight, Steve, that it was another similar situation. You knew after Dallas's mediocre and soft offensive performance in game one that they were going to bring it. I did bet the over this game, and I'm pleasantly happy the way things are going with the pace right now.
Yeah, I like the over as well. In fact, I used it as a free play on wagertalk.com on my page for everybody today. Also used it on the NBA tip-off show, on my daily NBA video. And what I pointed out, Gabe, was that the regular season games were all in the 230 range on average for the totals. This is just like that Knicks-Pacers game. It's 15 to 20 points lower than the regular season line. And also the one game in which Doncic and Irvin played together was the second game of the regular season, 257 total points in that Dallas win. And lo and behold, Mavericks are up at the half, and this game is soaring over. In-game line is around 237.5 now.
Yeah, 68-62 at the break. Luka just landed awkwardly. And he seemed to be in a little bit of pain. He's walking off the court into the it's halftime right now, so I'm sure he'll be all right. But something to keep our eye on. So yeah, like Steve said, I see a 236.5 right now, 68-62. Let's bring this up, guys, because I think this is a good time actually, Cam, to jump in on it. Mm-hmm. The updated NBA future, Steve. The Boston Celtics are minus 120 favorites right now to win the championship. The Minnesota Timberwolves are plus 300. The Oklahoma City Thunder are plus 650. The Mavericks are 12-1. The Knicks are 14-1. The Nuggets are 16. Pacers 65. Cavs 80. But let's focus in on the Celtics here. Have they showed you enough, Steve, to scare you off to believe that they're the best team in basketball, which I never believe that they are. And every year, they're not just favorites, but they're always significant and prohibitive favorites to win the NBA championship over the last couple of years, Steve. But I just don't see it in them, bro. All they do is shoot threes, and if their threes aren't falling, they're in trouble. They're not a very deep team. They're kind of like a front-running team that beats bad teams up at most of the time. But if you fight back and punch back, they will. How many times, Steve, you remember we talked about it? It was like 4 or 5 times this year that they lost outright as double-digit favorites, Steve. Like, I don't know about this team's killer instinct. I don't think they have it in them. I don't think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think they're overrated. And I don't want to come at them. They're both good players. But this stuff that somehow Boston are unbeatable and stuff, I don't see it, Merrill.
Well, they're definitely beatable. We've seen it now in both game twos. They've lost by double digits as a double-digit favorite. However, it's not the NCAA tournament. It is a best of 7, and they are the most complete team in the league, offensively, defensively, one of the top 3 rated teams on both ends of the court. But when you live and die by the three-pointer, as we've often talked about, anything can happen in a one-and-done scenario, and that's why the NCAA tournament is called March Madness. You don't hear it, it's not May Madness for the NBA because the cream usually rises to the top. All 5 wins have been by double digits. Their 2 losses now by double digits. So it really is amazing how extreme. But let's keep in mind, this was a flat spot tonight. They'll be focused in game 3.
Sounds like a flaky team to me.
Flaky!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Draisaitl could easily, at plus money, get the first goal, the second goal, the fourth goal. There's a few guys here. Maybe the prop betting market is not a bad way to look here.
Clippers over the Mavericks. I would have told you that score before the game, knowing that Kawhi Leonard wasn't playing. I would have really figured it would have been the other way around, but the NBA is just crazy.
In-game live.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. I don't know what it is. I know me and Merrill, because me and Merrill talk so much about the Washington football team and all their name changes and the Guardians and all that type of stuff. But I'm telling you, Cam and Steve, Utah are getting desperate now. Nothing sticks. Like, nothing sticks. And it's rare. Like, they keep on putting out these lists, and I want to get the latest list here. It was an expanded one right now, and most of them actually suck. How about this one, Cam? The Utah Powder.
Oh God!
Wow.
The Utah Powder. Like, what are you guys, a bunch of cokeheads?
Yeah,
what was Utah Powder? What was your first thought? That's what you got to do with these names, Gabe. It's like that quick, like the blot test. Like, what do you see first?
Yeah,
I thought the same thing was like,
yeah, Utah
cocaine.
Powder, cocaine.
Word association.
Yeah, I'd be like cocaine.
Exactly. Utah Rock. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If there's any
We thought
place
the
you
same,
can't
Steve.
find powder, I know. First thing I hear powder, I think blow. And I'm telling you, there's no blow in Utah. They let alone marks.
Utah.
That's the problem,
I'm
Cam.
like,
None of the people in Utah think that
they
right away. That's
already have a
the state that
reputation
should
for
do
doing
that.
coke in the NHL. It's like, no. You're not
powder?
calling the team the Utah powder.
No,
Okay,
not
here
the
I'm
powder.
dead serious. This is from the NHL. I'm dead serious. This is what it's down to.
That's
the
horrible.
Utah Black Diamonds.
Horrible. That's a
The
steal.
Utah
How about the
Blast sounds like a
How about
soccer,
the
indoor
Utah power
soccer
play?
team.
The Utah power play is another good idea.
Actually, that is a name. They're called the Baltimore Blast of the Indoor Soccer League. You can't take
Utah
Blast.
Blast
Is horrible, brutal.
Utah Blizzard.
Baltimore Blast.
I like Blizzard.
Dairy Queen.
Dairy
Steve,
Queen.
I don't
Dairy
know.
Queen.
Man, we
Yeah,
think
yeah.
all
No,
that.
I like
That's
Dairy
scary.
Queen. The
I said
Blizzard's
Dairy
quality.
Queen also.
At
At least you can get Dairy
Blizzard
Queen
feels
as a sponsor. You know what I mean? But like,
better than
I like the
powder.
Utah
All right, hold on,
power
hold
play.
on.
I just came up with that one. Power play.
here's the other
You
ones.
said powder.
Here's the other ones. Utah Canyons.
No.
Utah Caribou. Utah Freeze. Terrible. Utah Frost. Terrible. Utah
No.
Fury. Sounds like an
That's
arena
horrible.
football league
okay.
team.
Yeah, that's okay.
Utah Glaciers.
No, can't spell
Nah.
it. You got to be able to spell. I
Nah.
couldn't even spell
The
that.
Utah Hive. Can't spell
That-
Glacier.
That's horrible.
Utah Hive. That blood blows.
No.
It's awful.
Hey,
Look at these.
I hate
we're
to
back.
say it,
We're
guys.
back to the one. I'm
Blizzard's
telling you
the
what.
winner.
Utah HC.
Blizzard.
Utah HC's
we're-
on the list.
we're
It's
Yeah.
not-
gonna be.
No, none of
That's
this
part of the
Washington
plan, Gabe.
Commanders
They put
and
all bad
Washington
names on
football team.
purpose.
It's
No.
going to be. That's the
They-
front run. I'm telling you. So hold on. These
What
are
was
the
the one
other
I
ones
liked
here.
the other week? What's the one I came up with, Cam? I don't remember my idea now. The
Oh
one I
yeah,
had
it
a
was
few weeks
it
ago.
Sasquatch? No, what'd you have again?
No,
Mine,
no,
mine was
something-
the Utah Storm. No, that was mine.
Maybe it was.
All right, here are the
Storm.
other
I don't
ones.
remember the one I had. I had a good one.
Here
I
are the
can't
other
remember
ones.
it.
Utah HC.
Horrible.
Utah Ice.
That's not
Yay.
bad.
Horrible.
That-
I
could
didn't
live with
mind
that
the
one.
ice either. The ice
I
for
like
me, I think
It's
like
too-
you, Steve.
I
When I
thought
heard the
Bud
ice, I was like, it's all right,
It's
not
too
bad.
obvious.
It's not a Bud
too-
Ice
like,
beer, but it's
Utah
not bad.
Ice, like, get better, man. At least you said
It's
Dairy
better than
Queen
the
can
other ones.
sponsor. Blizzard are good. Blizzard's the best.
Yeah, but
Come
you know what?
on.
And you know what,
I like
Steve, my
ice.
deal with the ice was?
What?
Immigration Customs Enforcement.
I
Enforcement.
didn't think
yeah, you're
I
right.
thought of Bud
Ice.
Ice. I instantly thought Bud Ice, so I liked it.
Yeah, so I'm sort of thinking, I'm like, I'm going to turn off. Like, I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's in
didn't
the
think of that
FBI or the Washington FBI. You know what I mean?
I like the
So
Utah
I sort of
Ice.
thought of that.
I like
Ice.
Utah Ice. That is nice. You can do a lot with
Like
that.
ice
That's
beer.
smooth.
Utah
Yeah.
Ice is sort of like Miami Heat in the same way.
It
You
is.
know
I
what
like
When I
Utah
first to
Ice.
Miami Heat,
I'm
I was like,
behind that.
that's dumb. Okay, this
Yeah, that's
one
not
I
good.
don't mind, actually. Utah Mammoth.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
all
bad.
right. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's different.
Ice is growing
Utah
on me now.
Mountaineers.
Ice is growing
Utah
on me too, Cam.
Mountaineers.
I like ice.
Yeah, you know what? Utah Ices get better.
All right, hold on, let me get through the Utah Outlaws.
Horrible.
That's not
Utah
bad, actually.
Powder. Utah Squall. Jesus Christ. You're not going to name a team the Squall.
I can't spell that either. That's another one I can't even spell.
The Utah Squall.
That's
Go,
horrible.
Squall, go.
SQUA.
Imagine the
Go.
crowd.
Go.
Go, Squall, go.
Go.
The Utah
sounds politically
Swarm.
correct.
There's your winner. Utah
That's
Swarm.
not bad.
I could live with that. I like
Utah
ice.
Venom?
Ice is my
Utah Yeti.
Venom. yeah.
Brutal. Venom.
Yeah, I think of a cooler when I hear Yeti. I think of a cooler bag, so that wouldn't work. Be good promotion though. That'd actually be a smart nickname, probably.
Isn't there a junior team called the Edmonton Ice? They were Edmonton Ice, but then they changed their name to Oil Kings. They were Ice.
I like ice. I'm actually liking ice.
I tweeted about ice when it was on the original list. I said, it's not bad. I get the feeling. I think the owner's going to go with Utah HC.
I think you're right.
Like, if as a betting man, I wouldn't write it off.
I don't disagree.
Right.